Goenka from Texport Industries, and he will be sharing some interesting insights on how the apparel trade can fight these tough times, how as a company he is strategizing some moves so that the future can be safeguarded, more, not for his company, for his employees, for the workers, and we will be talking how the current challenges can be faced. Welcome, sir. Welcome to Team Perfect Sourcing Live
Thank,
channel. I hope
thank you for
everybody at
inviting
your
me.
side is healthy, stay safe.
Everybody is safe so far, touch wood, with the grace of God, and I hope the same with your
Thank,
office and your family.
thank you so much, sir. See, today's meeting and the discussion points, of course, is regarding the impact of coronavirus on the apparel trade. As you know, that it has already changed the world, and now it has impacted India also in a very, very big way. So, my first question is that how do you think this virus has impacted or changed the dynamics of apparel export sector of India?
See, starting with this coronavirus COVID-19, we were faced with a lot of cancellations. That is the number, that is the time we starting seeing the impact of the corona. So, good $2 to $3 billion cancellation must have taken place all over India.
Okay.
And then the problem came with the payment extensions. So
Okay.
the payment extension request started coming from 30 days to 180 days. So that apparel exporters had to deal with it. Then the third one came last 15-20 days is bankruptcies. That every day there is one new bankruptcy. Major retailer, major brand coming forward for some solution, some reorganization to the bankruptcy code there in US and Europe. So every day there are a couple of bankruptcies taking place or reconsolidation of their credit lines taking place. So that has become a big nightmare for currently managing the cash flow and managing the overall managing our losses. So
Which is
coming
the
to
recent name after JC Penny or J Crew? Can you enlighten me?
sorry, I'm
Which is the
your voice is
recent
little
name?
low. Our recent name is J.C. Penney,
Ah,
John Barbatos, J. Cruz,
J Crew, yeah.
Evans Marcus,
Lemon Market.
Debenhams. So there are plenty of it. This is few I could just remember offhand, but there are plenty of them, plenty of it.
And sir, what is
So
the situation with the medium and small buyers? I mean, I hope you must be also having some of them in your bucket.
so far, we have not faced because we were not working with these names what you've given. So we have given so far. But there is one or two we expect there could be in pipeline. Till date, it is not declared, but we expect that it could be there. So this is going to be a big nightmare for any apparel exporter, not only in India, but across the world, across the globe. This is going to be a big challenge because now the cancellations are under control. A lot of buyers have reinstated the orders, lot of, but payment extension, as our banks also, Reserve Bank of India has given the guidelines to the commercial banks to extend the payments receivable to 180 days or beyond also. So that could be taken care to a great extent. But this final bankruptcy could be a serious challenge. So that is a different new issues have come up now. So we have to
If I
deal
talk
with it.
about your company, basically your organization, the buyers that you are working with, what is the current scenario? Are they open to pay you for whatever you have shipped? Are they are canceling orders? What exactly is the situation right now at your company?
So the starting from the cancellation, our company has got very reasonable amount of cancellation which we could deal with. It is not that it is out of control. We could deal with it. It is not too small. It is not out of control. It's reasonably under control. So we are able to manage our cash flow, and they have extended the lot of orders for the next spring season also. So we are able to hold those orders for the next season. So that's not a big issue for us so far. Like it's a issue. I cannot say it's not, but it's manageable so far.
Manageable. Hmm.
Payment extensions also, with 120 days, we have 120 days and 150 days that one has to, it's manageable. And there are certain companies I would advise that there are international financing companies
Hmm.
which are financing the early payments for, uh, in respect of the many big corporates, many brands. So, and those are quite affordable also, quite cheap financing. Some with the non-recourse, that means with the insurance, credit insurance also. So
Okay.
one has to look for those kind of avenues
Hmm.
to safeguard cash flow and safeguard ultimate payment also, to get
Okay.
the insurance also. So, and those are manageable. Those are not very cost prohibitive.
Hmm.
Those are very easy. So that is one point everybody should try and look for. So in the payment extensions.
And when do you think that the market, the international markets will, ease down a little bit and they will be in the position to start and give the orders once again? I mean, what time frame you see?
Like I see that key in next couple of weeks when US has started opening. When the buying, today they are opening only the retail stores. They are
Hmm.
not opening their buying offices. They are not opening, many of the administrative offices are not open as yet in Europe
Hmm.
and America. But looks like in couple of weeks it will start opening. So once they have opened up, they will know their retail, because retail is already on for last 10 days to a certain percentage of each brand and each retailer. So
Mm-hmm.
next couple of weeks, there is a good possibility, or middle of June, there is a good possibility that we can see some traction on the new orders, some
Okay.
traction on new order. So because they need to buy, they will see how their existing stock is retailing, what percentage of business they are able to do in the first 30 days. So then they can decide they need fall goods. They need to start looking into the next spring also. Whoever has placed the fall, they'll start looking into the how spring development and
Okay.
spring meetings, virtual meetings will start taking place.
Okay.
So we are quite hopeful that in by June there could be a good traction for the new business.
Okay.
So for somebody could be for fall, and for the people who have we have already got our fall business. So who are not got the fall business, they'll get the fall, but whoever has not or got the fall, they'll get the spring business.
Do,
Not spring, they can't get the spring 21
hmm.
business, but there some discussion and meetings and virtual meetings could start
Okay.
taking.
So that means that the sourcing dynamics are also going to change with virtual meetings, virtual finalization of the orders and
Virtual
everything.
showrooms, virtual like complete 3D presentation of the your developments, and sometime it could be a virtual showroom also. We are not expecting one-to-one meeting for next 6 months.
Okay.
Next 6 months, no corporate is going to allow for a one-to-one meeting in their office, or like they will not come to our office. We are
Mhm.
not hoping anything like that. We'll have to work, and whatever we have seen in last couple of weeks as a 3D presentation, virtual showroom presentation, it is happening. It could happen. We don't see much of a problem there. We
So
don't
more
see much.
digitalization in the supply chain.
Yeah, it needs a complete digitalization in supply chain. We have been talking, all the retailers and brands have been talking for a couple of years on digitalization, which is now the need of the hour. Now it is compulsory. Nobody can survive without that.
Absolutely.
Nobody can survive, at least in this period. Nobody would be able to survive in that period. So one has to really be making sure that he is really working with the technology.
Mm.
So he has the 3D presentation. He has the capability for a virtual meeting, virtual showroom tour. We are looking at we had a trial on the first week of lockdown. We had a trial before lockdown. We had a trial of virtual showroom tour. So one need to, like in the second week of March, because US Europe was already closed. So we just for a trial. I'm not saying it was meaningful in that time, but we had a trial of virtual showroom tour already. So, and which everybody would have done by now, I'm sure. Whoever has not done, he has to do it now. So that is the most important aspect of the new dynamics in the uh, post-COVID era in apparel business,
Okay,
international
now
apparel.
I do see that there is one set of challenges that is coming from the international market when the stores are closed down. As you rightly said, that the buyers are moving towards digitalization, the virtual showrooms area. But on the other side, when I talk about India, it has its own set of challenges. As you are a manufacturer in India, the migration of the workers, the flight of workers, they are going back to their hometowns. On one hand, the factories are opening operations. On the other hand, they are going back to hometowns. So that is, I would like to from you to know what are the present challenges as an entrepreneur, as an exporter for you to handle within the country.
See, the migrant problem is in two parts of India. Like where we come from, the southern part, we have plants in all four southern states. There we have a very minimal, negligible migrant worker problem in apparel industry.
Okay,
In
and how
apparel
so?
industry, in Karnataka, there is nothing like a migrant worker because all the women, they are local. They could be migrant within the Karnataka
Within
or
Karnataka.
within the Andhra or within the Tamil Nadu, but there
Hmm.
is not a big migration coming from north to south.
Okay.
There is a small number in
Hmm.
our Kerala plant. There was little small numbers, but that is quite manageable. Whenever last 2 weeks back, we were allowed to open the plants in Bangalore in Andhra, and we have a good 50-60% attendance from day one, and we are hoping as soon as the social distancing and some public transport starts, social distancing get over and the public transport start, we are hoping to get reaching to 80-90% within
Okay.
next couple of weeks. Today also it is almost 67, and we could do this social distancing
Hmm.
because today in organized and compliant plant there is a certain level of there is a distancing already there,
Hmm.
and plant sizes are reasonably big to accommodate at least 80 to 90% of the strength with the current social distancing now.
Hmm. So that is
So
already been maintained.
yeah, so it's already maintained, and once we have the complete strength to
Hmm.
report, 80-90% could be adjusted in the today's compliant plant in India, whichever are properly compliant uh, and audited properly, that there is a good possibility of accommodating
So,
80
sir,
to
if
90%.
at one point of time, maybe I mean you must be having some orders in hand, or maybe some new are expected. So you will be able to handle that in the coming few days.
Yeah, we are quite like whatever factories we could open, our capacity, we are open to about 60 to 70% capacity open.
Hmm.
And we are able to meet our deadlines of our orders. That's not a problem. And we do not have an idle, simultaneously, we do not have an idle capacity also.
That's quite impressive. Okay.
Uh, 60, but we are running only 60 to 70% currently.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
no idle capacity, but no deadline issues also. Both ways.
Is it
It's not.
because that you are in the southern part of India where the impact is not much like Karnataka? Because if I talk about Maharashtra, the impact has been big. Andhra is also.
Impact has been big, but it is not only impact here in India. It
Hmm.
depends upon what kind of buyers you had and what kind of sorry My computer was attached to my phone was attached to the computer, so
It's okay.
it's an issue. So it's basically the buyers who had already placed fall orders.
Hmm.
Those vendors may be not facing big issue of idle capacity.
Okay.
The people who are still running for spring orders, those
Hmm.
are cancelled. Spring summer orders, those are cancelled, so they would have a little problem. I
Little
have
problem.
analyzed this situation. People who have gone already into the fall production
Hmm.
has no issues of shortage of order.
Oh, that's good. As we have always been talking about it, that India should always work on both the seasons because primarily it has been working on spring, summer. And whoever has been working in the winter wear or autumn, winter, I mean, they have always succeeded in the long run. That is one of
Yeah.
the mantras
So
to
you
survive.
have to now the new thing is like it was always the requirement of our Indian trade is to do get an expertise of working for winter products, working for winter products and keeping yourself busy from May to September.
Yes.
So that we have to have enough product development, enough market to keep yourself busy. So that is the one major important point. Every one of us has to deal with it, and uh, it was always there. It is nothing to do with the post-corona, pre-corona, or post-corona. This challenge was always there that
Hmm.
Indian exporters didn't have fall products,
All
so
products. True.
they were not as busy in
Hmm.
fall month. So, but now, and we have to, how it has helped us is that our customers had already started placing the fall orders sometime in February, early March. So now we are ready to start the production and keep ourselves occupied.
So coming
So
on to
this
the
is
parallel industry that has just started rising up is the PPE and the mask manufacturing. Do you think that will be a savior for our apparel export industry in the near run?
currently it is definitely the biggest savior. PP is whoever could do it, and
Hmm.
many of us are doing it.
Yes.
It's definitely a big savior
Hmm.
for the extra capacity, for the cash flow generation, and of course, serving the right purpose for the today's day.
Okay.
It's fulfilling all the causes. Your your extra capacity is used, cash flow is meant helping, it is helping cash flow, and
Absolutely.
definitely the human cause, it
Is
is
being
taking
served.
care of the need of the hour. It is
True. True.
definitely so. A lot of people have ramped up the capacity, and I'm hoping in India today every day is good, 2 to 300,000 pieces overall capacity per day. 2 to 300,
Sir,
300.
latest
I'll,
statement by textile minister says 4.45 lakh PPE kits
yeah,
manufactured
that
every day.
could be. That's what I said. 2 to 3 lakh, but it could be 4 lakh also.
Yeah,
And which is she is right.
which is
She
very
is right.
substantial number.
Yeah, everybody has got 10, 15, 10, 15, 20,000. So then there are, if 10 of those kind, that makes it 200,000, and a smaller guys also has. So that is really helping. And once Indian requirement is over, then I'm sure uh, government will open for export. There is a lot of inquiries coming,
Hmm.
and it is not that it will get over in couple of months. International inquiries, international demand will continue.
Continue.
Indian demand also would continue. So the certain percentage of apparel capacity could be
Aligned
continuously used, managed to, and which
PPE.
is and then a lot of good utilization of fabric manufacturing for the PP product that could be there. In the fashion mask, you
True,
could
true.
use your extra fabric.
Hmm.
Fashion fabrics could be used, so that is an added advantage.
True,
So
true.
overall, this is little good opportunity for all of us.
Okay. So coming on to the government part, the recently package has been announced, and there is a lot of talk in the town that so far we have not been able to see something substantial coming for the apparel export sector. What is your view and take on the same?
That's my take also. That's my take also. Uh, we have not been uh, we have not been given any importance, and we have not got any help so far. Some small help here there in terms of Reserve Bank guidance for extending the working capital, extending the payments receivable, extending the interest subvention, which is extended till next March, which is
Hmm.
a decent help. But beyond that, uh, nothing much so far.
Sir, I
Nothing
would
much.
like to ask you that nobody ever thought that such a situation would come ever in their lifetime. Now that we have been hit by something like coronavirus, how do you think that the business will be planned at your end for the next few years? I mean, some areas that you would like to work upon, or some areas of improvisation which you have learned in this tough time. Maybe in terms of some payments, maybe in terms of some product. What exactly will be the learning lesson?
So basically, to start with the product line, when we have got imported overnight heat sealing machines, so we realized that PP could be for 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, but then to use such a big investment, we are looking at having some winter wear which could take care of heat sealing
True.
machines. So we have to work for those kind of product to have a little more focus on the winter months. So that is one thing. Otherwise, we have to consolidate the capacity post corona days. We have to really consolidate the capacity, work lean. That is the most important part of it. It was always important, but now a bigger reminder has come to all of us that we need to be very lean.
Hmm.
So we have to completely take out fat from whether it is administration office, or whether it is marketing department, or whether it is sourcing, production, everywhere. We have to be very very lean, so that could give us the big advantage. And the most important part is technology, which we have already discussed earlier, that we need to be very good technology savvy in
Hmm.
terms of the virtual meetings, 3D
Hmm.
presentations. So all those things we have to really work on this. And I'm sure like this year, if we are able to take good care of our capacity and take good care of lean approach, there could be 60-70% business could be done this year, March end.
So
And next
that
year,
means there is no dead end for the apparel sector. The hope
I
is
do
still
not
bright.
see a debt. Definitely, people, it is individual company. It's for individual company to see how they take it. But I do not see a dead end for the many of us. Because if we take right steps
Hmm.
in the right direction, we'll be able to sail through. It is a very tough period, but if you have to tweak yourself in your working, as I said, you need consolidate your capacity. You need to be going lean. You
Hmm.
need going to be you have to use the technology. So these three things are most important part to survive. So these three
Any
things.
two three pointers that you can give that you were expecting from the government to announce, or something that would have really helped apparel export industry to emerge out of the
See,
situation?
the simplest point we were discussing is like there was no work for at least 7 weeks average for all region in India, and we being like our wages cost is good 30% of our cost, FOB cost.
True.
So 30% is, and for 7 or 2 months,
Hmm.
that means good. I would put it like this: 6 to 7% of our total annual cost has gone into this
Labor crisis,
just, to, just for the wages.
wages. True.
So how one industry, one company can survive? So we were looking at it. If nothing else, but if government would have taken care of EPF, PF and ESIC
Hmm.
for 6 months, which is good 27% of the total wage cost,
Hmm.
we could have survived. We could have done little better, and that was the minimum government could have done for a labor intensive industry like us. And
Hmm.
we are the totally different from every other industry.
Hmm.
Other industry have got 5% as the wage cost, 6% at the most, 10%.
Hmm.
Here we have 30% as wage cost. In that period, you imagine paying for almost 2 months 100%. You will be in a big problem. You would be in a serious problem.
That was
So
one major point that you were expecting from the government.
yeah, at least this much would come in.
Hmm. 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 Okay.
And
So
there was
I,
little hope. We
yeah.
thought that this will come in, but nothing came up.
Hmm. Any other point regarding, irrespective of this point? I mean,
There was a lot of smaller points people were talking about, like this forward booking cancellation is a big headache for many of us. So the losses on the forward exchange forward exchange contracts, which is government can
true.
ask RBI to extend without debiting the difference and all. There were many of it, small thing. But
That's
this one item could have been
big
instead of
saving.
paying instead of paying 50, 60, 70% of wages, we hope that at least pay this 25% for 6 months
Hmm. 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 True.
from employee and employee side, both if they paid 25% of PF for 6 months, we could have had a much better status in the garment industry,
So, do
which
you
is not
see
yet
some
done.
change in the sourcing pattern or doing the business pattern in the coming times? I mean, in terms of agreements with the buyer, or in terms of sourcing moving out to some other place, or business coming towards India from China? Any changes that you're expecting in the near future?
There could be, there is, I don't expect much sourcing policy changes. Whatever, whichever customers were looking at India, they would be still keep looking at India. There is no way that they are going to go away from India. But simultaneously, there could be little hope of something coming from China also. We can't lose that hope. Something coming, people who are vacating China space, there could be small advantage could come to India way,
Hmm.
but it's not a big hope. It's
Hmm.
not a really big hope. Small hope is there that something can come up to India. Something can come.
Great, sir. I think on that good thought that we are definitely going to survive the storm. There are opportunities also in along with the
There
challenges.
are
And
opportunities. There are
yeah,
opportunities.
and as you rightly said, it depends on company to company how they take up the storm and prepare themselves for the best days.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
so much,
having me.
sir. It was a nice interaction, and I hope we all sail through these tough times as soon as possible.
Absolutely. We are looking forward and we'll sail through.
Yeah.
Take care. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so
Keep
much, sir.
safe. Keep safe. Bye.
Be safe. Yeah. Bye.